and proper techniques. The Gothic era is perhaps the least influential art period in history. As the innovation of medieval artists and other people progressed, the culture began to change radically. Learning and art suddenly flourished, and old classical texts were suddenly collected and read anew. The Middle Ages slowly gave way to a new birth of knowledge and culture, known as the Renaissance, or the Rebirth. It was the critics of this era that gave the Gothic era its name, a name signifying barbarism and crudeness. The Renaissance had turned back to the inspiration of classical sources and were displeased by the simple and non-classical forms of Gothic art. Although the era started off with the innovations of the late medieval period, it would eventually owe more to the ancients for its techniques and styles. Later eras would build off the genius of the Renaissance, and the unusual and unique styles of Gothic art would be left in history. This is not to say that the Gothic era did not influence anything in later eras, for even the least influential art period is still rather major. The styles of storytelling and the modified epic structure of the Canterbury Tales and other medieval works formed a basis for many modern genres of fiction. The developments in painting, music, and sculpture would similarly make it easier for later artists to make even more complex and realistic artworks. In architecture, the Gothic era would continue to thrive for a time. Building was expensive, so few would want to suddenly switch designs. Also, the innovations of the Gothic era were for a long time the most secure and powerful building techniques available. Still, it too would be left for the domes of the Renaissance and the columns of neoclassical art, but not for long. Beginning in the Victorian era, builders would begin to look back at older styles in what became known as the Gothic Revival. Many famous buildings were built from this style, and the new combinations of techniques formed from it.